This video is going to show you how to set up a Reno monitor MMU2-1600GE to run a Mode A intersection. With a Mode A intersection, your protected movements are on 1, 3, 5, and 7, and your flashing yellow arrow or your protected permissive movements are on 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you noticed here, down here on the terminal bus, our green is actually tied to phase 1, 3, 5, and 7, and our red, yellow, and flashing yellow arrows are on 9, 10, 11, and 12, with phases 1 and 9, 3 and 10, 5 and 11, 7 and 12. So now that you see the configuration here, it also shows you that your green arrows are the protected movements and your flashing is going to be on in this case, the overlaps, which are 9, 10, 11, and 12. With that, we're going to go ahead and start looking at programming the monitor. Here we are with a Reno MMU2-1600GE. If you notice, our firmware is 2, so we know it is there by looking at our firmware. We're going to go ahead and hit enter, and we're going to move down to configuration settings, hit enter, fault monitoring settings, hit enter. Now I always like to start with everything with a defaulted monitor, so I'm going to go ahead and clear all. And here it just tells you that it goes back to factory settings. We're going to go say yes. It beeps, and now we want to program. So to program, you want to make sure you start changes. If you don't hit start changes, you're just going to review. So in this case, I want to go ahead and say start changes. It asks you, do you want to start a new configuration? The answer is, of course, yes. And then now if you notice up here, it says it's unlocked. Previously, it didn't have that, so it lets you know that you can change things. So we're going to go down to Wizard, and here it's telling you that the Wizard is going to calculate and set up the basic information that you give it. So in this case, we're going to hit Enter, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the LED guard. We want the PEDs to be on. For this example, we want the PEDs to be on 9 through 12, which it is. Do we want to monitor do we want to tie the reds high, the PEDs high? And what that does is it means that you won't be monitoring the PEDs, at least the don't walk of the PEDs. So of course you're going to keep that no. The watchdog, this is our default. We want to keep that no. And here's where we're going to make our change for flashing yellow arrow. In this case, we're going to go to the MMU2 portion and hit enter. And here it's going to ask you which mode do you want. If you notice, I'm going to go ahead and go through all the different ones so you can see that you move left or right to get the ones you want. So in this case, we are doing mode A, and we're going to be doing it in all 4 directions. But if you only want to do it in 2 directions, you can move down with the down arrow and then change it by going, there's protected. L means a protected movement, and if you notice, 9 is now off, and you got red, yellow, green letting you know that's protected. If I go to U, unused, that's what U stands for, meaning that there is no head on channel 1. But in this case, as I said, we're going to do all 4 directions. So if you notice, our protected green arrow is on 1, 3, 5, and 7. Our red, yellow, and flashing yellow are on our 9, 10, 11, 12 overlaps. Now that you have that, you'll go ahead and hit enter. Here it's going to ask you basic questions. These are policies that your city would come up with to say what they want these answers to be. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say yes to the allowing current yellows. If you have questions on this, I will put a connection to our website so you can read each one of these. But in this case, we're just going to go ahead and say yes here, and everything else we're going to leave as the defaulted settings. Here it says you're almost done. we still, if you notice, it says we've modified it. So to activate it, we actually have to go ahead and go save. It's going to ask you, do you want to save changes? I want to say yes. With that, I still have to program the program card, but everything else is ready to go. So this is setting up a flashing yellow arrow mode A. If you have any questions, contact support at editraffic.com or call tech hotline 602-396-1284.